The moment the truth about Gabriel is finally revealed, Clara feels the ground crumble beneath her feet. The man she knew as a simple homeless man was actually a millionaire who abandoned his entire fortune in search of something money could never buy: freedom. But now, faced with this shocking revelation, Clara is forced to choose between true love and the security she has always known. What would you do if you discovered that the person who changed your life held a secret that could turn your world upside down? Clara watched the reflection of her own perfect world. Surrounded by the luxury of a penthouse apartment, her life seemed impeccable in everyone's eyes. Extravagant parties, rare jewelry, and a promising career as the heiress to a business empire. Inside, however, the emptiness grew, suffocating her every day. The friends around her were superficial, focused only on status and wealth. Worse still, her family pressured her to marry Victor, an arrogant millionaire who couldn't see beyond his own ego. Clara longed for something real, something that money couldn't buy. That night, driven by an uncontrollable desire to escape, Clara went out into the streets of the city, looking for answers that even she didn't know what they were. That's when she found him. Gabriel, a dirty, disheveled man, sat on the sidewalk, watching the flow of people with a distant gaze. Something about him caught her eye. In a bold gesture, Clara made a proposal. "I'll pay you $1,000 if you spend the night with me." But, to her surprise, Gabriel refused, with a coldness that shocked her to the core. What would you do if a complete stranger turned down an offer that no one in their right mind would refuse? Comment below on what you think will happen now, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on how this surprising story unfolds. Intrigued and challenged by Gabriel's refusal, Clara insisted. "Why don't you accept? What's your price?" Gabriel looked up, and for the first time, she noticed something different: dignity, a glow that seemed completely at odds with his slovenly appearance. He stared at her with unusual calm. "Money isn't what I'm looking for," he said enigmatically. Clara was speechless, something that rarely happened. How could someone in such a desperate situation refuse money so easily? It awakened something in her. And without knowing exactly why, Clara felt she needed to know more about him. During a brief conversation, Gabriel made a casual mention of his past. He didn't reveal much, but one detail became clear. He had already lived a very different life. "I used to have a lot of money," he said, almost without emotion. Clara tried to elicit more information, but Gabriel looked away, clearly unwilling to share more. The mystery surrounding this man consumed her, and her curiosity grew with every second. Why would someone who had so much choose to live on the streets? Clara knew there was more behind that homeless man's facade, and she was determined to find out the truth. A few days later, Clara found something disturbing among Gabriel's few belongings. An old watch from a luxury brand. It was hidden among his things, apparently of no value to Gabriel, but clearly an object that belonged to someone of great wealth. What would a homeless person do with something like that? The mystery surrounding him intensified, and Clara couldn't shake the feeling that Gabriel wasn't who he said he was. Something deeper was to come. As she spent more time with Gabriel, Clara began to notice an unexpected connection between the two of them. He was unlike anyone she had ever met. Gabriel seemed to understand life in a way that transcended money and status, something Clara was beginning to realize was missing in her own life. At the same time, she felt she was drifting away from her friends and family. They wouldn't understand. No one would understand the fascination she felt for Gabriel. The tranquility Clara felt at Gabriel's side was interrupted by Victor, her ex-boyfriend. He came to her with a new proposal, this time full of threats. "You know that your family owes me, Clara. If you don't come back to me, I may well wipe out everything you have." Victor wasn't just interested in Clara. He wanted power. He wanted control. And Gabriel, without knowing it, was becoming an obstacle to his plans. Gabriel, who had remained silent during Victor's threats, finally decided to intervene. "Do you want control, Victor? Control over what? Money that has never meant anything to you?" The answer surprised Victor, who laughed sarcastically. "And do you know anything about it, beggar?" Gabriel smiled, but his gaze was serious. Clara, seeing the tension between the two men, began to realize that Victor suspected something. And at that moment, she knew that the truth about Gabriel was about to come out. Amid the growing tension, Gabriel decided it was time Clara knew the truth. He took her to a quiet corner, away from prying eyes. I've already had what Victor and his family want so much. Money, status. It was all part of my life for a long time. But after years of being treated as a symbol of wealth and not as a person, I gave it all up. Clara was stunned. He was a millionaire who had chosen to live on the streets to escape the pressures of society. The revelation left her in shock, completely changing the way she saw him. Now that you've discovered who Gabriel really is, what would you do in Clara's place? Enjoy the video and share your opinion in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time to follow the end of this story full of twists and turns. With the truth revealed, Clara found herself in a dilemma. She could follow the safe path alongside Victor, guaranteeing her family's fortune, or risk everything and follow her heart alongside Gabriel. Determined to make her own choice, Clara knew she was about to change her life forever. In the final confrontation with Victor, Clara made her decision. I'm not going to marry you, Victor. I'd rather lose everything than live a meaningless life. Victor was in shock, but before he could react, Gabriel approached. You don't have to worry about the debts, Victor. I'll pay them off. Money was never the problem. Victor was speechless. Clara, now free of his influence, took Gabriel's hand and left behind the life she had always known. The weight of the past dissipated, and the promise of a new life, based on love and truth, awaited her. Clara and Gabriel left superficial luxury behind. Together, they embarked on a new journey, a life where authenticity and true connections were more valuable than any fortune. Their future, full of uncertainty, was also full of promise of something deeper and more meaningful than money could buy. As they walked together through the city streets, Clara reflected on everything she had learned. Money had blinded not only her family, but also herself. Gabriel taught her that the true value of people is not in what they have, but in how they live and connect with each other. The final message of the story was clear. Wealth may offer comfort, but it is love and authenticity that bring true happiness. Clara and Gabriel now knew that by choosing love and truth over materialism, they had found what really mattered: genuine happiness.